also. Speaking of that area and speaking of those conditions, George Romanek is an assistant professor. He's in the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at McGill, and maybe can cast a little bit of light on why this might have happened or how exactly these tides work. Mr. Romanek, thanks for being here this afternoon. So when you hear a story like this, is there an immediate explanation?
Well, yes, the immediate explanation is the cause of the tides. So tides are caused by gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. But in terms of tides, really, gravitational pull of the moon is 2 times more important than the gravitational pull of the sun. And tides in a region are particularly high when the moon is either between the Earth and the sun or on the far side, namely the Earth is between the moon and the sun. And on June 3rd, we had full moon. That means that the moon was on the opposite side of the Earth, namely the Earth was between the moon and the sun. And we have very high tides in these cases. So maybe even if the people in that region, in this particular family, if they were aware about tides, maybe they were not aware about weekly and annual shift of tides that happens depending on the position of the moon in respect to our planet and the sun.
Does that mean also not only that the levels are higher, like we know that we're talking up to 4 meters in this particular area on the peninsula that they were on? Does it also mean that they come in more quickly, like and it could be like and more of an undertow, I suppose, is what I'm trying to understand?
Yeah, well, not necessarily more quickly, but their tides are higher. So, for example, on the 2nd of June, tides in that region around 8 p.m. was just 0.5 meter. But then at 2 a.m. on the 3rd, tide was 4-point-something meters. So that means in 4 to 5 hours, the water rised for approximately 4 meters. And if you fall asleep and you sleep 3-4 hours, that's 3-4 meters of water that accumulates. And that's, of course, when we talk about the depth of the water, we're talking about height. But if you're on the coast, the water penetrates much deeper into the coast during these occasions.
So, and this is a regular kind of an event. You would expect this to happen when there's the full moon, when that gravitational pull is different. So this would not have been a unique experience.
No, not at all. And one can go to Environment and Climate Change Canada website, namely Government of Canada, and there are clear forecasts of tides. That is very easy to forecast because we know position of the moon and the sun with respect to our Earth.
Okay, so then when you talked about them sleeping, perhaps that's like they were caught, we don't know, obviously, and as Amanda Klein, the reporter from CTV mentioned, there's so many questions swirling about this, but if you're imagining the circumstances, Mr. Romanek, do you just think they got taken by surprise? How does the water kind of sneak up on you like that?
Yeah, well, because, so as I said, depending on the position of the moon, tides from day to day to week to month can oscillate for 1 meter or so. So if the tide yesterday was 1 meter high tide, when I say tide, I mean high tide, was 1 meter below what they are usually thinking the tide is, that particular night it could be 1 meter higher. And 1 meter higher means water penetrating much deeper into the coast. And I don't know what happened particularly. Maybe they were too confident or something like that, and tragic happened.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Romanek, I want to thank you so much for your time. Appreciate the explanation there as well as we try to understand this terrible tragedy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
George Romanek over at McGill University.